to me. The past that I tried to leave, like a mirage, like a mirage. The scars that you don't keep on my arms, I am empty, like a mirage, like a mirage.
Good morning, Serious Cute. Serious
Good
Crew.
morning.
Seriously,
morning,
cutie? Is that what you're saying?
Seriously,
Cute, I don't know, man. I'm just making this stuff up as I
I
go.
was looking at Arnold and it distracted him.
I can't deal with it, man. Anyways, welcome to episode 6 of the Serious Gentlemen. We are working today with Flap and Smack, Brosine, Felix, and myself. Quick shout out to Team Serious for yet another amazing tournament yesterday. Well, this whole weekend. Running StarCraft 2 worked out really well. Casters did an amazing job, not only providing excellent gameplay coverage, but also educating those of us who have never really played StarCraft and gotten into it. So I'm just going to lead us off with the quick intro, guys, get through the sponsorship stuff, and then we'll roll right into the first topic. But huge shout out to Gamer Grind Coffee. If we can get Gamer Grind Coffee in the chat, those guys have helped us out. They've got some gaming specific brews for you to get your morning started. Pulse Labs chairs being a sponsor, bringing on some chairs and some gaming comfort for us. We've also got Rogue Energy. Rogue doing a good job with their, especially all their flavors. Their strawberry lemonade is amazing, by the way. And also, lastly, Pix Backpacks. If you need to customize your backpack, go ahead and hit up Pix Backpacks for the link that's in the chat now. If you use our referral link and our referral code, you'll get a small discount by also supporting our community and giving back to wonderful Team Serious and everything that they've done or that we've done, to put it better. So real quick, just go around the horn. Guys, if you want to say hi, tell everybody how your morning's going, tell us what you're drinking, and then we'll get started.
Hi, well, juice.
Good morning,
Finally
everyone.
got whiskey.
Brosine here with a nice sparkling frost by Pure Aqua. Not sponsored.
That made me thirsty. And I will quench that thirst with the Mountain Dew Game Fuel Amp.
Ooh.
Gotta get some energy going. As you get older, you need that punch, you know what I mean?
So
Sounded
no whiskey today? No nothing? All right, whatever. I'm just drinking coffee. I'm drinking Gamer Grind.
We got to start bringing our gamer grind. Well, not you, Flap. You got to bring your energy drink or something, man.
Are we working on sponsorships? Is that what I'm saying? Not so saying?
Coming
We
to
can be.
sponsorships. Tim, why don't you stand up a little bit?
I can't. I'm short.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sponsored by Team Serious, right? This is the OG shirt, man. Like this
I like
is,
it. I like
this
that
is before
shirt.
the new merch came out. And I have my red shirt, but my wife wore it first, so I don't want to wear it. I don't want to act like I'm copying my wife, right? So I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm gonna have to order a green one or a yellow one or something.
I mean, the dress was a stretch.
I'm not doing the dress again, man. It's never happening again. There's not enough money in this world to do that again.
The tune dress comes up every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop. Oh, yeah, the flag. See? See, there I go, being short.
I like it.
U.S., Texas.
Oh,
It
look at
fits perfect
that.
for me.
I need a shirt like that.
This one's a good one. I like the new merch, but I like the OG shirt. So enough of that. We've already lost like 3 minutes from random nonsense. Let's jump right in. We're going to talk about the state of streaming. We've got a lot to cover here, a lot to uncork from this last week. I want to talk a little bit about what the Serious Ladies talked about too, but we're going to get to that. We're going to push this to the side for a moment. And what I want to start off with is I want to start with the state of streaming in your eyes. When us four started streaming, I feel like it was the best thing for everybody to stream. It was kind of the hottest thing on the market was to stream. Me personally, I've had a lot of conversations with people who now don't feel comfortable streaming. There's too much turmoil in the market. A lot of people have stopped streaming because of the turmoil. And so those of you that don't know, Mixer selling, basically shutting its doors and selling over to Facebook Gaming or cooperating with Facebook Gaming. We've had a lot of bans from Twitch. There's a lot of turmoil in the market right now. So I'd like to get your guys' take on, if you had somebody who was on the fence about streaming, what you would talk to them about and how you would influence their decision. Flap, we'll start with you, and then we'll work around clockwise if we can.
Shit's fucked, yo. Run.
Great advice, Flap.
That's exactly what he would tell somebody. Like, I hate to say this, but that's literally the exact same
I
thing.
don't know how you can follow that.
Am I wrong?
But is he wrong? Where's the lie in this?
I'll elaborate on Flap.
Thank you. Go ahead, please, because
Jesus.
I don't know what's going on.
His short and crude answer, though, is kind of correct. Right now is a very uphill battle to start streaming. Twitch is absolutely flooded, even more so now with everybody from Mixer. It's not just Mixer partners coming over; it's Mixer everyone is coming to Twitch. There may be, I would bet you, if we could see the statistics of this, maybe 10% or less are going to Facebook Gaming. Okay. Twitch is going to implode again, like we probably haven't seen in quite some time with new streams, with more content. So not that I hate to be discouraging to a new streamer, but be ready for an uphill battle to get your name out there, because we have a whole other site coming to our site to try and get noticed now. It's a lot of people to battle. It's almost like Fortnite 2017, where you were trying to get your name out there in that era. So it can be very difficult to get
Be
started.
ready for weeks of nothing.
Mhm.
So
Felix?
on the other side of that, I'm more of the opportunistic type by nature. And if someone with Mixer dissolving and forcing its people onto Facebook, that was the most discouraging thing ever for someone who had worked extremely hard to get partnered on Mixer, and for them to just say, well, too bad, now you're going on Facebook and you have to do it again, which is why you're seeing that influx on Twitch, because people started on Twitch, and the only reason they left Twitch, honestly, is because it was so flooded. They saw a new platform and they said, okay, wow, this is my chance to be one of the first on this platform. And those guys Microsoft really just stuck it to those guys that really grinded that out. And like Brosine said, you've got basically two platforms merging onto one. And so for someone brand new, my advice to them would be to find a game that is not popular at all. Start off with something very specific. Like I did when I left the first time, I started playing The Division. And at the time I started playing The Division, everyone said it was a dead game. No one played it. No one liked it. But what happened is people saw me playing this game and they were like, oh yeah, I remember that game. And so they started jumping back into it. So it created your own audience versus trying to jump on like Fortnite or Warzone. You're gonna be a number there, and you're not. It's fun to play those. You gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta stream what you love, and if that's what you love, then go for it. But don't expect results when you're in a heavy market like that, unless you have something to offer everyone. And that doesn't even translate to how good you are at a game. You could be the greatest person to ever play Warzone, and you'll have 4 viewers the entire time because you have nothing to offer an audience. So my advice is pick something off market, off the hype train, and build that audience, because that audience, I've learned this from experience, that audience will follow you regardless of what you're playing. Yeah, you're going to lose some because there's the devoted players that only play that game, especially when it comes to the Division community. They only play that game. It's the only game they care about. So when you're playing something else, they're like, whatever. But the mass majority of the community that you build will come with you because they like who you are as a person. So you can't focus on numbers or anything like that. You just got to do what makes you happy. And if your focus is growth, you're in the wrong game.
Six rows down is what I always did on Twitch. If I wanted to meet somebody, I go to browse, sort by popularity, and 6 full rows of games I ignore, and then I start from there to search. And that has always produced results for me in terms of turnover or Twitch viewership, because there's smaller communities, there's a smaller pool of people in those games, and they want to interact with people. They can't interact in a 10,000 viewer Warzone stream besides putting, Twitch emotes in there and spamming when everyone else spams. So if you want, they have I don't know what the site's called anymore. They have sites dedicated to the algorithm now, though, to tell you what to play to build viewership. So I guess a positive coming into it as a new streamer now is you have a lot more tools than some people did just a year or two ago,
See, that's cool to have tools like that. That's insane.
Yeah, I think all of us would have benefited a little bit from a few extra tools in our toolbox. But so with the recent, DMCA concerns, the recent bans that have come out, the harassment controversies and all the accusations that are going on, it's really hard for someone like me I don't like being in the limelight of even being on that fence post, right? I don't want to be accused of it. I don't want to be even anywhere near it. I don't want to be near DMCA stuff. I don't want to be around the harassment stuff. I don't want to be anywhere in that limelight. If I'm on the fence post, I'm too close, right? So as somebody who's got a little bit of experience, it's hard for me to give advice right now because I'm trying to tell people do fun things, do whatever's fun for you on your stream. But a lot of people, that relates back to music. And now music is kind of being it's being kicked in the nuts. Like, you're not playing music on stream. And so people are having to be more creative on how to interact because, for me, I've had a lot of people come to my stream because I was playing music and they listened to the music or they, did song requests or whatever. But it's really a hard time right now because I don't want to give advice because I'm afraid somebody's going to take it wrong, or I'm afraid that maybe it's not going to work out. I'm a guy in my personal life. I love giving advice. I love trying to help people as much as I can. Even if I never reached my potential, I can help somebody else reach theirs. That's kind of how I live life. But streaming right now, I have a really hard time with it, guys. I'm having a hard time because of all of the bans and all of the different concerns, and it's coming at us from every direction. And I said we weren't going to speculate. We're not going to, but Dr. Disrespect, everything that's going on it's painful right now. So I'm even hesitant to stream right now, guys. Like, it's hard. It's not a fun life right now.
I'm glad that I came off the platform when I did, because I think now with Mixer gone and with a lot of lack of knowledge for the new people coming on, you have to go to Twitch. Like, that's the census. That's always been the stigma, that if you're going to stream and be successful and have a lot of viewers, you have to be on Twitch. And I'm so glad that I left that platform. Nothing against people who are on the platform. I love all of you, and I'll still go on there and support you guys. And I said that, but I had a personal falling out with Twitch based on lack of communication. I put in a simple request for a dead account that has no followers, had no activity. And I said, hey, this is going against your squatting policy, your username squatting policy. I held the trademark for my name. I submitted that in the request, and I got ghosted twice. And then out of nowhere, I received an email from Twitch that said, hey, how'd we do? And then that was that exact moment where I said, you do not care about your users. That's all that was it for me. I said, you didn't read anything I sent you. You didn't do anything. So I'm not going to take it. So I left the platform, and I've had more success off platform. And to kind of side note this for new people, I would say be realistic with your expectation in the first year of growth. Don't jump into this thinking if you have a blue mohawk, you're going to, be the number one streamer tomorrow. And also, if you really want to do this, it's more than just going live. There is so much to do behind the scenes to be successful at this. It depends on your expectation and the level you want to get to. I think most people get into streaming in the hopes of quitting their day job. And they can come in and stream full time, play games, get paid, pays the bills. But in order to do that, it takes more than a full-time job behind the scenes to get that going. It's almost 90% absorbed content is offline content, which is why I stream personally 2 days a week. Other than that, I stream 2 days a week for 2 hours tops, because everything outside that spectrum is wasted time, because you're going to get your viewers that come for that little bit of time, but the other 90% of people who follow the channel or do anything like that is offline content. And most people that get into streaming, they don't understand that concept. They think if they go live for 16 hours a day, they're going to grow. And again, you're going to get lost in that sea, especially now.
You're going to burn out too. You're going to burn out real quick.
You'll burn out real fast. And that's what I've seen. And so I will have to scroll through my Twitter feed, but I put out something. It was in March. I said, after quarantine, how many streamers are going to go away? And already outside of the scope of, copyright and sexual harassment stuff, that number has dropped like nobody's business. Like people just stop doing it because there's other things to do now that things are opening up again. So I think that, it's in such a weird place right now, streaming. I mean, the people who are devoted to doing it are always going to do it. Like those 24-hour streams, never in a million years would I do that.
Nope.
I think the reverse, like the people that aren't started, the people who are established, and when I say established, I just mean I've been on the platform for a while, not thousands of viewers. This is absolutely the time to keep consistency and keep doing what you're doing, because all of the flash mob of streamers who came on the platform or who are leaving, as they leave, you just move up automatically. You're not, I mean, obviously there's still going to be thousands of us, but there's also going to be thousands of us less, so if you keep focusing on your content, you just keep building your audience. When all of those smaller audiences dissolve and they go look for more streamers, there's a lot of opportunity there. And you might only pick up 1 or 2 extra people, but that's 1 or 2 extra people that care about your stream. And that's what it takes to start building those channels. This is a great time to be middle tier and consistent with your content.
See, and even if you're lower tier, you hit it right on the head, Brosine. I love your outlook on everything. I love your background too, by the way. But it's consistency, and that's the one thing. If you could stress that to any streamer, anyone who wants to stream, who wants to do anything in life. I mean, take outside of streaming. If you want to work out, you want to look good. Consistency. You have to eat right. You have to go to the gym. You have to do everything. It's consistency. You want to be successful in business. You have to have consistency. You have to have good logistics in business to get everything fulfilled. All your sales has to be consistent. That's the key to success, is consistency, and accessibility is the other one. So if people are streaming only on Twitch and that's all they do is Twitch, they'll never grow. You have to go outside of platform to bring people to you in order to grow.
Yeah, and this is where I think, and I kind of want to hear some of Flap's take on this, because he's started to expand what he's done. And so when he started on Twitch and that's all he was doing, but now he's moved into becoming, the intro today was made by him and it's fantastic. So a little bit of, are you going to go back to streaming? Or are you just going to leave it at what you're doing now? What do you see? Because I consider like the two guys, on the screen who are beneath us are far superior streamers, right?
You're beneath us.
You and I
We're all
have found you've kind of found our niche and where we belong. I like being a part of a community. I like being the guy who kind of pushes people in a community. You like your, helping out and pushing out video products and playing games and being someone that we can rely on. So what is your take on everything that these two have just said?
I don't know, because I started streaming so I could have time to play games, because I wanted to play some Minecraft mods. I figured I might as well stream to, get that chance. But with all the offline work you have to do, it's such a pain in the ass. It takes up so much damn time. Half an hour before you start streaming to set everything up, half an hour afterwards. Whereas with doing the YouTube videos or making the videos for Team Serious, I sit down, I find some clips, I make the videos, I'm done. I can hop into a Discord, I can talk with my friends or whatever, I'm done. it's so much easier to get in and do what I want now that I'm not streaming. I'm not saying I'm never going to stream again, because I'm sure I probably will at some point, but I'm really fucking lazy. Streaming is hard work and my internet sucks. So who knows when
And
I'm
I
in
feel like
the
more
new
value.
house.
Oh,
You know what's
go ahead.
cool though is you said you realize that you're lazy, but that's
Oh,
not a
yeah.
that's not a bad thing though. Instead of just quitting, you just went to where your interests are and reformatted your content. You didn't just give up on producing stuff. You just go, streaming doesn't really fit my lifestyle, so I'm gonna make YouTube videos or I'm gonna make
Mhm.
clip highlights. And when you look at it from a hobby perspective, I think like that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely. All I wanted to do was play games, which
Yeah.
I can do with YouTube videos, and entertain people, which hopefully I can do with that.
And I
That's
find
all I
more
want to have.
value in that offline presence. And it just brings more value to you
Yeah.
when you do decide to go live again. Because I found with YouTube is, and I'm in the same boat, Flap. And the thing for me was streaming took so much time away. And Tombstone, of everybody, this guy above me, him and I are on the exact same page, on the exact same line, because it got to the point where it overtook everything else in my life as far as time. I would be at the grocery store with my kids and my wife, and I'd be like, yo, what the fuck are we doing here? I got to get home. Like, it became something, and I personally became something I didn't want. I mean, video games have always been, we talked about this in one of the other podcasts. I'll make it quick. Video games has been, very like therapeutic and escape from everything going on, stress wise, work wise, everything wise. And so when I realized, I sat back one day, I think I was like scrolling through and seeing like comments or something, and it hit me, and I was like, what am I doing? I am like genuinely worried about a number on a screen or how many people watch this or how many do this. And so YouTube kind of like broke those chains for me, the offline content, because I can sit down, I can take 1 4-hour day and, like Flap said, cut up clips or do something quick like a tutorial video or like that. And I take one day and I've scheduled content for 2.5 weeks. And that content gets absorbed more than live streams. And in that hand feeds this hand, because then when I go live, people go, oh man, I want to ask that dude a question. I've had so many people hop into my stream and be like, hey man, quick question. In this video, you said to do this,
Yep.
It's not working, blah, blah, blah. That dude ends up sticking around for the entire stream. So then it brings value. And the only reason I even wanted to stream live was because YouTube made me do it. Like YouTube said, you have to have 4,000 watch hours in order to get, partnered. And so, and for some weird reason, I want to get partnered. I don't know why. It's like a weird thing. I don't know. I want to do it. So I was like, all right,
It's a good
cool.
milestone.
It's an achievement.
It's an achievement. Yeah, it shows. And I'm a very like, I've talked to Busy about this. I'm a very like progress guy. Like I have to see progress. I told Toon this as well. Like I have to be able to measure what I'm doing to justify my time.
Yeah.
That's just a weird thing that I do. I don't know. So, but once I hit that partner and I get that 4,000 hours, they can't ever take partner away from you. So my live streams will probably be cut down to like 1 day a week for like 2 hours. Just if I want to do like a tournament or something like that, I'll do that. But I'm with Flap. I would rather take one afternoon, make some videos, put them up for 2 weeks, and then just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that when you talk about live streaming, something that I ran into is that I always tried to mold my stream to fit other people's schedules. Not only did it overwhelm me and consume me, but I would try to miss your stream, right? I would try to say, okay, at the time, Thomas, I'd be like, he's streaming at 3 p.m., so I don't want to override him, so 6 p.m. And then I would see Brosine was starting at 7, and I was like, well, from 6 to 7, I can fit in a small stream, and then I'll go live after Brosine's done. And then I was like, oh, shit, that's when Natso's streaming. And I started trying to miss other people, right? And first off, I wanted to be there to support you guys, but second of all, I was afraid it would take away from me. Whereas YouTube and posting videos, now you can come see me when you're ready, right?
Yep.
You can be walking around the damn store if you want to, pull it up on your phone and watch my 20-minute video or whatever. Or if you're laying in bed at night, you don't want to watch Twitch on your TV because that's not something a whole lot of people do, I would assume. But you get a chance to pop into YouTube and check out a video, or, oh, damn, Flat just posted this video. Now I can go and check it out on streams or, online. So I think that you're right. These both fit into one another. The more offline you produce, the more interest you build offline, the more interest it's going to build online. The more interest you build online, and it just keeps feeding back and forth to the other. But it's an interesting place because we have in UV, we have a lot of younger kids, and I'm talking 14 to 16-year-olds, right? And that's the next generation of streaming and pro gaming as well. And I know Team Serious has been dealing with a lot of newer or younger generation who are coming up, and really they're freaking amazing at video games, but they lose perspective on, they just think they're going to jump in and because of great gameplay, they're going to be amazing, right? And they're going to just fly up the charts because, I'm top 5 in this and that. And us four, we've all seen that doesn't work, right? So right. I'm trying to give them this advice, and the first thing they think about is, I need panels? Why do I need panels? Nobody cares about that. Well, yeah, they do. It's just not your friends right now. The people that are actually watching you and that want to care and invest in you really care to know who you are.
It's about the entire production.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And accessibility, like they don't understand. The younger kids, they grew up on social media, which is instant connection, instant everything. And so they've lost that bridge of like accessibility, the term of accessibility, because, and with them being younger, they have to be careful because that accessibility could also hurt you big time. Even as being a family guy, I got 2 kids, I got a wife, too much accessibility to myself and could impact my family. And you guys talked about that on the other podcast. I wasn't there, but the privacy, how do you let some certain people know that you stream, stuff like that. So there's a fine line you got to walk there. And I feel the younger you are, the more blurred that line is. And so my advice to the younger ones that are like, oh yeah, why do I need panels? Well, you don't right now. Like, don't worry about that right now. Focus on content. Like Gary Vaynerchuk is the guy that everyone watches on social media stuff for social media marketing and stuff like that. And that's all he says is content. Because the more content you have, the more discoverable you are, all that stuff. So and like you said, Tombstone, they're like, oh, I'm number 3 in the world at this game. Only people that's going to impress is number 4, 5, and 6. You know what I mean? They want to see how they
people that are chasing you to knock you off.
Yeah, exactly. How we can beat this guy. So that's not going to build you an audience. Minus, there's always an exception in that Shroud. With him being good at every game, people want to see that. Yeah. So, but you have to be. He was already doing tournaments and stuff already, so people knew who he was already before he started streaming.
I don't even think that would have the same effect in today's. Shroud was just at the right place at the right time. He was that good in the most popular game, CSGO. He just was so good at shooter games, FPS. And now, you look at like Rainbow Six. If you go to G2 or any of those Ninjas and Pajamas, any pro team, they're not the top of the charts in Rainbow Six. It's like mentors that what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name. He's so smart about Rainbow Six. Flap and Smack. That's him. Anyway, it's like people that know the game, casters that really know the game well from a call out perspective. Those are the top of the charts, and it all focuses back on the entertainment factor is there as well as the skill and knowledge, not just the skill.
Yeah.
Now Shroud is
the guys that are that good are the coaches for the team. There's a dude that coaches. I think it's the Seattle Surge for Call of Duty, and that dude, he calls out, like, if you watch their stream, they do like their own stream while they're doing the professional ones. And they have like a coach cam, if you will, and it's him. And that dude knows everything. He's like, there's a box over there that if you sit behind it here, you can shoot out, but they can't shoot in. And I'm like, how do you know that much about this game already? But those are the guys that, and it's entertainment value that they know things like that. So that brings value to people watching it. So and marketing, if you have a good marketing team, you'll be number 1 at anything.
But I've never cared that much about a game to be good at it.
You just haven't found the right one, dude.
Risk of Rain 2, you do. It's just not a mainstream game.
Yeah, but I'm not good at that. You should see some of these other people playing it.
I think that we all have found games that we like and we enjoy. I mean, the other night when I did stream, I streamed Pokemon, for God's sakes. The reason why I played it is because I love the game. I couldn't care less if you guys like it or not. I was having a blast, but whenever I was done, and Twisted and I were on a Discord call, and we were chatting while I was streaming, and I realized after I was done, he and I started talking. We were hanging around afterwards, and we started talking, and he was like, "You just walked around in circles for like 2 hours, dude. You didn't do anything." And I was like, "Oh my God, you're right." But I was having the time of my life. We were having drinks, and I just had so much fun in that little element. And if I could do that, and I could have that feeling on stream every time, I would never do anything else. But it's not always that easy. And then, I started hearing my kids playing music in the background, and I was like, "Oh my God, DMCA, it's going to get muted," blah, blah. And, it's so stupid. I mean, it really is. It's such a small thing, but you have to be concerned with it. You have to worry about it. And, with everything else going on, with the allegations that are coming out, I mean, if truth is told, people being banned on Twitch, not knowing why. We talked a little bit about communication, Felix, not communicating at all about what's going on. And I get a lot of us now are just being nosy asses, right? We're just like, "Oh, what happened? I want to know." But the people that are in the know should know. And, time will tell the truth. It always does. But to not know anything, and you're taking one of your top 3 streamers off your platform, and we don't know why, right? And
he doesn't know why, which is, if it's allegation, like, he's got it. That's the most horrifying thing in the world. That's another reason I left that platform, is just they have so much control over everything. That in itself is like, from being a creative person, I went from the music industry. Basically, I mean, I've always done marketing and stuff, but like, I went from the music industry, and so like, I understand the copyright infringements, whatever, from the music. I understand that, because that's how you eat as an artist.
You make money that way. Absolutely.
But to see how much control that Twitch has over its users, it is just insane. I mean, they can shut you down because they feel like it, and that's been demonstrated. If they took the, Doc, I mean, he's a freaking icon on Twitch, and they took him off like that, and they just ended his career, millions down the drain.
So we all talk about it, and we all set out with the same goals. I think we've talked about this enough, that we have all set out with being a partner as our goal, right? Now we've changed. We don't care so much about it, or, if we get that break, cool. We're good with that. We're good with it either way, right? But could you imagine you work for 5 or 6 years and you build up this brand, and Felix, as well as anybody, with the time that you put into this, or maybe the Bro Show really kicks off and it goes streaming up the charts, right? You put all this work in for 4 or 5 years, and on the drop of a dime, somebody comes in and says, "Bye.
It's over.
See ya. Gone." And he's absolutely right. And I don't particularly care for the guy. Like, I don't know him. I don't watch his stream. I've seen a couple of them. I think he's got a really interesting persona. I think that's why people are drawn to him, is because of the persona more than anything else, and the charisma that he's got behind it. But the thought of me putting in 6 to 8 years of work and putting my family aside a little bit to make this work, and then have it just ripped out from under you like that. And sure, he goes to Facebook, he will be just fine, right? He goes wherever he goes, he's gonna go.
To really commit to a view on that whole situation right now. It sounds like it's not just Twitch that removed him.
Right.
It's all his endorsement deals. So I just feel like if everyone's removing him, it's not DMCA or something like that. So
that's true.
I don't want to fully go in on, he's worked so hard. This guy's like the top dog. Well, if he did something bad,
then he's not. Yeah, and he's not a.
He absolutely deserves what's coming to him.
Exactly.
But I also don't want to fry him at the stake until something. What's the disservice here is that Twitch has not come out with a statement, and I get there may be legality around it. You can't speak an NDA, but we live in a Twitch, Twitter, everything. It is a drama news network. You just get all this speculation for days and days, and then the speculation grows, and you got fake people on 4chan throwing fuel to the fire. Like his family, does not need that. His
No,
family
I-
does not need that. Regardless of what he did, his daughter, his they got all this speculation about stuff. It's not fair, you know.
Yep.
But I'm hesitant to lean either way right now because nobody wants to commit to. Everyone says they know, everyone being the upper echelon, but nobody wants to actually say it. Yeah, no one wants to come out and say the thing.
I
think
will
that
say I do know, but I've been asked by the rest of the panel not to mention it.
yeah. That's
And I think that if I were in that situation, I wouldn't want the world to know.
I mean, why would you?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And if I had all of these endorsements and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the dude grinded out. He got all these endorsements. He got all the viewers. He got everything there. He put in all the work. And if, like Brosine said, if he did something that merited this, then that's his fault. He was his own downfall, and that was his own fault. Those are his demons. And you know, I wouldn't want, if I was in there, I would not want the world to know publicly. I mean, if it's something that bad, I mean, yeah, you don't want that. Nobody.
We
wants
may
that.
have to accept too that we may never get a clear
Yeah.
answer.
Never know.
The
Exactly.
public
And
may
you know-
never get a clear answer on this. It may just
Is
be
anyone
Twitch changes
Actually
terms.
worried?
No.
No, I'm not.
He
the dude,
did
the dude's
something?
made his money. I mean, he's made his money.
Right off into the sunset.
Yeah, just be done. Like Ninja, for example, not even in a negative aspect. Ninja had a very positive thing happen. His contract is over. He got paid out. The fact that everyone knows what he made, I mean, I would have tried to keep that under wraps, not letting people know what I made on that deal.
Yeah.
Because that interferes with future deals that you could get. So, you know, having the public know things hurts you more than it helps you.
Yeah.
So I want to spin this two different ways. I want to talk about two different things. First, I want to talk about the way that it affects us, because like when we started out this conversation, it was, would you want to put in this many hours without being communicated with? I don't care too much about what he did. I'm with Flap. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't. Would it be cool to know? Yeah, cool, whatever. But it's like your favorite superstar. You always want to know something, but I don't care. I'm not paparazzi.
It would
So
be cool
I
to shut Taz up.
And basically. So I want to, you know, to me, I just don't want to grind something out like that and then be betrayed by my, even better, Mixer, right? I'm going to grind out 1,000 hours and then they're
Those
just going
people
to
got
pull the
so
carpet out from
screwed.
under me.
Yeah, the mixer
They
thing was
were-
absolutely uncalled for and
So-
completely mishandled.
So when we talk about this thing and we talk about communication, Mixer could have let these guys know a year ago, hey, we're not seeing the return we thought we were going to have. This is going to happen. Start moving your
Even
communities
email.
now, right? Do something to help your guys out. But the second part to this is, you know, when we talk about getting new streamers in here, you've got to make sure that if you're giving advice, you're advising them on all this stuff that's going on, right? And for those of us that lead communities, because 4 of us in here lead a community. Flap, you're even, you know, you're a moderator in Team Serious. You have to know, you kind of have to know what's going on in order to help mold young people. You have to know what's going on. So I'm more interested in, like, I don't want to put in that many more hours, especially like I've considered going to Facebook, but what's going to happen to me in a year? Like, I don't
Right.
understand. And so I agree that these guys did have a different avenue to apply for Twitch partnership. That's cool. I'm glad of that. But one good thing from Twitch doesn't outweigh all the flaws either. So just a lot of bad things going on.
And I
Twitch
tried
just
Facebook.
says, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, man. I tried Facebook, and they have Busy was there when I tried it, and they have things they have a lot of work to do in order to compensate those who were like, okay, I'll just go over to Facebook and try it. They need a lot more tools, because if you go straight from Mixer to Facebook, you're going to feel like you lost everything, and it's going to be so discouraging. So Facebook doesn't have, from experience, I tried it, they do not have the tools or things in place to accept people that are used to a certain caliber of tools at their disposal. On the flip side of that coin, the internal marketing of Facebook and Instagram, like their algorithms, their way to target people, that is 100 to 1 that you're going to win that. That's worth it. It's worth its weight in gold, because Instagram and Facebook's algorithms say, okay, Flap, you like Tombstone. here's 5 more people that are exactly like Tombstone, and you will subscribe to them, and all this stuff. So there's pros on going to the Facebook side in terms of marketing and outreach. But as far as just being a streamer and having the tools you need, I couldn't even move the chat from one side to the other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that people are used to that aren't there. So if you're a newer streamer, or even if you're a partnered streamer, because when you were partnered on Mixer, there was tools that you got access to that other people didn't get, and you lose that. And so I feel so bad for the people that put in that time, like Brandon, Stealth.
Yep,
Dude,
absolutely.
grinded,
Stealth
and
Assault.
Absolutely.
grinded,
Oh my gosh.
and they pulled and he's like, all right, well, I guess he did the same thing everyone else did because he had no choice. Well, I guess I'll just go back to Twitch. And dude, I mean, to get something you worked on like that just ripped out from under you, it's unfathomable. It's crazy.
I think
Sad.
Twitch just has the roots have just been planted on the Twitch platform. It's too big.
Oh, yeah. They cemented over.
And Mixer has now shown companies too, like, you can't come into the game this late.
Yep.
It's going to take, I mean, the whole speculation now is Google and Spotify merging, or rumor. If they can't do it, like, let's say that does happen. If that fails, because look, as a streamer, Ninja, Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, they can move wherever they want. I'm not moving off Twitch, man. This is where I'm at. Unfortunately, right now, it's the sexual harassment hot zone of the internet. And to when Tombstone was talking earlier about how does this affect you personally, that totally affects me, because I'm a guy on stream on Twitch. I feel like do I know the streamer next to me? Not you guys personally, but you know what I mean. People were getting accused left and right, and I knew some of those guys, and I'd never expect that. And it's all happening on Twitch. So when I think about Mixer coming to Twitch, and you have a lot of female streamers left Twitch in the beginning because of their shitty sexual harassment policies, they made a brand on Mixer. They're living it up on Mixer. They're doing well. And then you got to tell them the doors are closing. Also, you got to go back to Twitch in the middle of sexual harassment hell. That is just how Microsoft did that is like an unforgivable right there, to just lock people out like that during this drama fest is inexcusable.
It's not just that though, right? It's not just, I mean, that's what our focus is on right now. And that's a huge problem, sexual harassment in general. But communication, deception, sexual harassment, abuse, right now you're throwing them right back into this when they're not ready for it. Twitch is not ready. The streamers are not ready. They're not ready to forgive and forget and move on. And now, again, these people have to eat. These people need money. This is how they support their families. Most of them do not have a choice in the matter. And I know we like to sit here and say, oh, they have a choice because it's something fun and, they're doing. That's not true. This is their job, right? So they're getting thrown back into a pond where they may not be as successful. They're getting thrown back to where they're not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. The ladies on Wednesday talked about, our blackout of Twitch night and trying to prove a point and have a platform to speak on. The whole reason the ladies do a podcast is for that reason, to give them a place where they can have a safe place to talk without a bunch of male dominant interference. But at the same time, it's hard for me to see my wife go on stream because I'm like, what is she going to face? Thankfully for me, I don't have, I don't know many of the people that were accused or the allegations are against, but if I did, like, oh my gosh, man, I don't know what I would do. But at the same time, as a male streamer, when I go on stream, I'm very particular in the way I answer things, right? I'm very particular about how I talk. And now I'm changing who I am as a human being, because now I'm like, ooh, that's too sensitive. Let's share the discussion.
Yeah.
Or if I see a comment in chat, I'll be like, nope, not touching that. Bye. And I'm more apt now to delete a comment than I ever have been. I used to be the guy who would say whatever the hell you want in chat. I don't care. You're not going to offend me. You're not going to get under my skin. Now I'm a 32-year-old guy with 4 kids. I don't give a damn what you say. Your words don't affect me. But now I'm like,
it's
nope,
not just about you now, is it?
I'm really
There's other people
optimistic.
in chat that you might get
absolutely.
I'm optimistic that Twitch will kind of, be forced to respond and adapt due to all this. This is not going to go away for Twitch. Basically, there's people still coming out every day on Twitter with more and more stories. So I think they're silent now because somebody, what's his name, DeBest Jared, if you're familiar with him on Twitter, he kind of said it. They don't want to jump the gun and make a half-ass response. Okay. And I'm not trying to side with Twitch here, but I think letting them take the time they might make a whole platform change for all we know. Okay. To really just, nip it in the butt, man. So giving them some time to respond, I'm remaining optimistic that they're going to hear these women out and go, these are the changes that we need to make. And we might see the platform evolve as a whole. We might be using it differently. I don't think very differently, but there could definitely be stricter rules and more moderation in place coming soon.
And I think you'll see more strict options on, because right now the only option you have as far as moderating viewers is 18 plus. So for the female streamers, I feel that you might see, you might be even able to see a ratio put in there.
Yeah.
Let's say you only want 20% male in my chat. And so then by your account, when you sign up, you mark, and then there's people that don't identify for gender, then they would just go into unknown, and that would be 2% of the viewer base that you've let in. I foresee stricter filters in your chat. Now, Facebook has a very good filter tool. It's similar to Twitch's like follower required to follow to talk in the chat. They also have a timed one, so you have to be following for 15 minutes before you can talk in chat. And those layers really do filter out trolls, and they filter out all this, because if I'm going to troll Flap, I'm not going to wait 25 minutes to do it to let him know. I want to get in, say what you're going to say, and get out. And so these filters are there to protect you. And I see like more filters being applied on top in the future. If they were smart, they would do that, which they are, because they are.
So I'm really glad we've gotten onto this. This is a good transition piece to where I was wanting to take this conversation. We seem to do that a lot on this podcast, but we have talked about Twitch, and we've talked about harassment. We've talked about their shortcomings as kind of a company and as a platform. But now we're starting to see on Twitter, you're starting to see the complaints about Discord as well. And you're starting to see these communities really implode from the top down, because that top person was that person, right? That top person was the one accused, and now their platform is falling apart. But so we're starting to make waves. And when I say we, I'm talking about streamers, viewers, people on social media who are really starting to draw attention to this cause, kind of like all the other movements. Once you get attention for it, you can really start making headway. It's got to come. I mean, that same day of reckoning has to come for others. It's got to come for Discord too. It's got to come for, Discord has a wonderful set of protections for, making sure people don't DM you if they're not friends with you, making sure you don't share a community, you can't be touched. But at the same time, in these group chats and these main chats, anything can be said, right? And there's ways to get your information, guys. People are going to be bad people.
Yeah.
But there still needs to be more done. These communities are not doing enough as individual communities to protect their people. It's really putting us in a weird place, because we're all speaking out against Twitch, but are we not speaking out against harassment on a greater level? Those people who go into YouTube and leave a comment that just slanders people, right? I barely let my 12-year-old son go on YouTube because of the comments. So when are we going to be able to do enough to stop harassment in general?
Yeah.
When are we going to start speaking out against it? When, if I came across some guy that I know in a chat and he's being hurtful or he's harassing somebody, and I stand there and allow it to happen, I'm just as guilty as he is.
Yep.
So how do we start to make waves with that versus just saying, oh, Twitch is a terrible platform?
I think those filters that you put in place will definitely help that out. And you got to remember that someone making those comments on like a YouTube video or something like that, if you saw that person in real life, they wouldn't say a word to you. So it's keyboard muscles mainly is the issue there with that. But if you do those filters, and here's what I did, especially when it comes to my kids. I try to keep them on YouTube Kids. I try to keep them on there. That
Good luck.
content is filtered and all that stuff. Ed, it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
So what I did is I created an account, a Google account for my kids, and I signed into that, and I use as many filters as I can. But again, there needs to be more.
I think I'm always the extremist when it comes to these conversations. And here's why. I fully support. A lot of people go the wrong way when they talk about how to combat it. They'll say things like, well, you can just ban them, or what if we just stop the body paint streams, or we need to take this group of people and move them off the platform. They always are the ones baiting the sexual harassment. What if, just hear me out here, you had to pay to make an account on the channel, on the service, okay? How many people would pay $5 to create an account, okay? But that account could get permanently banned. It's not a subscription, it's a one-time. It's permanently banned if you break the rules. How many people are going to pay 5, 10? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Would you really keep paying money just to troll someone? It's the anonymous nature of this that has to be hit. It's not the people producing the content. I agree with Felix with the filters. And I know that my idea would sound totally wild. People would be like, I'm not paying. Well, you would if that's where everyone was. You would if that was the most popular service. You would if that's where it makes you money, and you'd obey the rules. You know, I hate to go back to money. I did the same thing with the trolling segment on episode 3.
We did.
But look, man, people don't like when you mess with their money. They're gonna get if you start that's why fines are so effective. You know, to the average person, we don't have money to keep harassing and having to pay $10 for a new account. You know.
Yeah, and the cool thing is
everyone's got lots of money.
With Amazon, you could take that a step further. Say, okay, you pay, call it $5. You pay $5 to create an account, and you link that to your Twitch Prime account. So now Twitch is in the position to where you could say, okay, if you're going to do this, now you're putting your Amazon Prime on the line as well. If your account gets deleted on Twitch, it is deactivating your Amazon Prime account.
Ooh, that would be good.
That's a good shout.
Do not hit me with that, because you messed
People
with my
get
Amazon
very
Prime.
upset
I'm
when you
pissed.
bring up these type of things, but that would stop it.
Because those are the
wouldn't
ones
want
that are
that.
doing it.
Those are the people who are screwing it up.
Exactly.
It's just like laws in the real world. If you break the law, people who break the law are the ones that 99% of the time hate the police. So if you're not doing anything wrong, then what fucking difference does it make? You know what I mean? If you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing the right way, it's not going to affect you one bit, minus the $5 that you pay. But if you're the one that's out there trolling, you're putting your account at risk, you're going to be the one to bitch about it.
So I can even see myself, if I really got froggy one night, like creating a couple accounts to mess with. Like if I were messing with you, Felix, I'd do it in a heartbeat. The moment you start touching my Twitch Prime, no.
Sharon 43. I know you.
But I mean, I could probably do it for like 1 or 2 accounts. But when you start talking about taking my Amazon Prime, like you're threatening my marriage now, right?
That's right.
You're threatening my livelihood. And I don't want to go that way, man. I mean, I'm all for it though.
Yeah, I would be for that in a heartbeat.
When we have small conversations like this, and you hear that, that's how you change things.
Yep.
I think people got to remember too, like if you were against this, if you were against having to pay for an account, it's not about you as the viewer. It's about protecting the content creator from getting harassed. That's why you're paying the account. You know, it's not like to use the service. It's we're going to cut back on all the people anonymously making these accounts and messages. And, you know, my idea isn't fully fleshed out. Might not have all the answers to every avenue, but as the think of it, obviously we're all guys here, but try and imagine from a female perspective here, you might feel a bit safer if you knew that there was a paywall screening anonymous trolls from coming into your stream and ruining your content. You might feel safer there. You know, it might be a stretch at first, but I don't know. I think it could work.
I think that would be more effective than you think. I think that would be, I mean, you're going to lose some, but again, using Twitch as the example, you are a $15 billion a year company. Not only are you going to add revenue, but if 100,000 people stop using the service, you're going to be fine. And that you need
How
to
would
start.
that be implemented now, though?
You would have to. It would have to be at the end of the month. You would have to say.
So
at
it'd
the end
be
of
a
this month,
retroactive.
end of
Everyone who's
quarter
got an
four.
account.
End of quarter four. Yeah. End of quarter four. When we start Q1, to keep your account active, it has to be linked to your Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you are going to pay $5, and then they have to release the TOS of, if you get banned, then your Twitch Prime account gets affected. Again, I'm like with Brosing, I don't have all the answers. They're going to say, oh, you're just going to take away my family's Twitch Prime account. No, well, maybe say, look, if you, the one you want to really kick somebody in the nuts, say, if you get an offense, you lose your 2-day shipping. You have to wait fucking 5 days.
Oh my God.
You want to kick somebody in the balls, you take away their 2 days.
14-day minimum ground shipping, no tracking number.
You lose next day air.
God.
No one would mess anybody. No one would mess. Everyone would be like, how's everybody doing? Anybody need water? You pop into
Rectifying Humanity on the Team Serious podcast. Oh, not so.
Busy. Come on now.
That's low, man. Jeez.
Oh,
I
that's
mean-
right. He recently acquired, I think, didn't he just recently acquire FedEx and UPS?
Yeah, I think
After
he's
Steam.
merging the two. He
Yeah.
took over Steam, had the money, bought the rest.
Yeah. It's
Jeff
like
Bezos, he's coming for you.
80% stake in all of them.
I'm glad we always come back full circle
Yeah.
here. I don't know, man. I think that the first thing I always think is when I see these harassment charges or allegations, or I see this stuff about Dr. Disrespect, or we're talking just amongst us, the very first thing I always think about is, why are they different from me? Right? When I log into a stream and I see Brosing having a good time, that makes me happier. I don't know why this thing about trolling exists. I don't know why somebody would get so much happiness for making a young lady want to hurt herself, right? I don't know. As I major in psychology or educational psychology, and I'm always trying to learn about the brain. Why does this exist? I still can't get it. I don't understand it. I have racked my brain around this with you four, Not So, Taz. All of us have sat here and talked about this, and we've beaten this thing to the ground. How do we stop it? And Taz made a comment earlier. I don't want to scroll the way back up because chat's actually moving really well right now. But I want to I could have 55 moderators in my chat. It's not going to stop it from being seen. And she's right. 15, 16, 17 accounts later, I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done streaming.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince young kids that they're going to face this. And they may not realize it now, and I get it. Some kids are young. I was young. I learned a lot, and I matured quickly. But you're just going to get kicked in the nuts over. And I feel like as a more experienced content producer, I just feel like I'm getting kicked in the nuts, even though I'm not associated with any of it. And I'm exhausted. For the first time, I'm tired of talking. So I don't know, man. I just
Right down
Amazing.
the date and time. No, just kidding.
Yeah, write down the date and time, hashtag it in chat. I don't know, man. Like we always have so much fun talking, and we have fun playing video games. And I can jump in a Discord call with any one of you three, Not So, Taz. I can jump in with any of you guys, even from my UV crowd. I can jump in with 1,000 people right now, and I could have the best time of my life for an hour. Why does this kind of hatred and
It's a weird dark side of the internet that we're just not a part of.
Yeah, it just stems from a
Can't
lack of
understand it.
accountability. It's a lack of accountability. You cannot pin something on someone on the internet because you can just create another account and do it again. So
It's too anonymous.
And here's the other problem is that you will always run into is there's always going to be that argument of like, you cannot police the internet. The internet needs to stay free, lack of government, lack of control on the internet. So there's no way it's chaos because it's left for the people to police the people on the internet for the most part, unless you're on like a private site. And until there's a way to get accountability on someone, it'll never change. So the only thing you can do is, damage control. meaning implement the filters, implement pay to, like Brosing said, pay to play. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing you can do. You can only do damage control. You cannot ever even say, okay, if you're going to be on the internet, you have to have these rules, blah, blah, blah.
And like them, I think it was them shenanigans or somebody else from chat said it's not going to be solvable 100%.
Yeah.
There will always be rich people, and I'm sorry if I'm misquoting somebody from there. There will always be people willing to pay the paywall or go around, do whatever is possible to get to that person and troll them or harass them. The efforts that we should be focusing on a majority scale is how can we limit it? Eliminating it, that's not a discussion I am even qualified to have. That's too big a topic for my experience level. Honestly, how would you eliminate it? And honestly, it should come from a female voice and a female background. It shouldn't come from a male on how to reduce sexual harassment, in my opinion.
See, and there's no way to eliminate it ever, because as long as there's a human element in it, it'll never go away.
Yeah.
So, like you said, Brosing, there's no way to ever get rid of it. You just have to put things in the way I think that $5 for every account, that will deter a lot of people. And if you link that with, like, I'm just using this as an example, link that with the Amazon Prime idea, that'll deter your next level of people that don't want to lose that. And the more filters or obstacles you put in the way to get to somebody, like, you're going to deter the next level. And like you said, there will always be that rich guy that just wants to make your life hell, blah, blah, blah. Just take his money. You can even go as far as like saying, if you type over 10 characters, you have to pay $1, and then it'll actually benefit the streamer. So yeah, troll away because you're making me money. Go for it. Call me an idiot. I don't care. Like, there's things that you can put in place that will deter people, and you just have to you can't go too far either. You got to find that barrier. Right.
It absolutely sucks that these measures have to even be taken in the first place. They're uncomfortable. They're not free. They're not anonymous. It's not what we're used to. But if it even slightly makes people feel safer and able to create content without having to, whisper their mods and do all that bullshit on the side and make them feel out of place, it is absolutely worth it.
Yep.
Whatever, paywall, no paywall, some random thing, whatever we can do as the internet as a whole, not just Twitch. Let's start having those conversations, because the internet in 2020 and beyond is not 2019 and before. It's way different. It has grown so much in the last few years.
Yeah, I think that. So go ahead, Flip.
So I had a few streams where I had multiple people coming in and donating bits and donations, calling me all sorts of horrific words that I shan't repeat.
I said I was sorry. Okay.
And I was sat there. I was thinking to myself, more than happy to sit here and take this abuse if it means that someone else isn't getting it. And also, I'll take your fucking money. If you want to pay to use me,
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
see, and that's another thing, is like, there was incentive for you on the other end of that, to where it didn't impact you as much, because they said what they said, but then at the end of the day, you were benefiting from it.
Yeah,
I think that would help. I don't say that's. I don't mean that to like excuse the fact that someone did that. That doesn't make it okay, because you're giving them money. Not. But it's definitely less of a blow, because you go, haha, okay, thanks for the bits. You know what I mean? But some people don't have that thick skin. Some people and everyone's got those points, man. If you hit that point, that's enough. Like that'll hit you regardless of how tough you are. Everyone has those points. So it's a fine line. Again, thank God that's not my job at Twitch to figure out how to do that, because that's going to be such a hard job.
Right. So I do want to start wrapping this up, because we could talk for days and days and days on this. So first off, Chad, if you want to start dropping questions, we'll have a quick Q&A really quick with the panel. But I think that us talking about it, to go back to another point that was made, I think Cherry made it in the chat a minute ago, that us talking about it, even though we're not going to reach 1 million people, right? We could, but right now we don't have that kind of oversight. But the more of us who individually start talking about it and do take the responsibility that we can, if I can stop one person from doing it, then I feel like I'm a better person for it. And Taz brought up the serious ladies. We have, I've seen it in 10 Discords now that there is a room specific for this group of people. I've seen, gender neutrals have their own room to talk in. I've had, there's just these places that, there's these places where you can go to be safe, and that's good for this. And I'm with you, Rosie. It's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Better
You got to
tomorrow
start
than
at
today.
better. You have to
Better.
start at better.
And whether it's a paywall, if we can have just one a day, just slowly trickle them down, then I feel like that's good enough for today. That's good enough. And every day that we get social injustice killed a little bit more, every day we hurt racism a little bit more, every day that we eliminate one person from speaking out with hostility and evil, it's better. And if I can get one person from coming in and making a derogatory remark towards Taz during a podcast because of her voice alone, we're better for it. So every day that we get a chance, guys, every day that we can stop one person, speak out against it, it's horrible. It's awful. And you don't know what the person's going through that's sitting next to you. I don't know that this guy's a racist. I don't know that this guy's an abuser. But I do know that the people around me, I think I'm a good judge of character.
Yeah.
These are human beings, and you don't know what they're going through. And every little bit will keep somebody on this planet a little longer, or maybe keep a smile on their face a little bit longer. And that's good enough for us.
Mhm.
And us at Team Serious, we're here to protect that. We're here to make sure everybody's smiling, making sure everybody's gaming together and having a good time, because that's what we're here for. I'm not going to go there. Does anybody have any other questions that you'd like the panel? This is about, we put together several panels here at Team Serious, and all these panels, we don't rank and stack them, but this is an amazing panel of three awesome gentlemen around me who have amazing experiences, and they're varied experiences. So if you have any questions, now's a great time for us to hear them. We'd love to reach out and answer your questions, but you're not going to find a bad panel of these guys around me to answer your questions, except Flap's probably going to go, and
Nope, not today.
not today. You are locked and loaded, are you?
Can I?
Go for it.
Yep. Can I also add? I have struggled a lot with this podcast, purely for the fact of Felix's RGB in the background. There's lights spinning up.
I mean, it's on production
You want me to
level.
move that thing over there, so you enjoy it.
On production level,
It's
nobody
perfectly.
touches
They're
it.
all perfectly synced to go in circles at the same time too,
Yeah.
bro.
Can't
I've
take
been watching
credit
the
for that.
entire time.
Now I'm gonna sit here and watch it for hours at a time. Thanks, Flap. I appreciate that.
No worries.
I broke my RGB on my computer. I unplugged one of the pins and I can't find out which one it is, and I'm too lazy to take it apart and try and pin it back in. So
I'm pretty sure it's when Taz team killed you and Siege, you just broke it. So it's
probably
kicked it. It's cool. All right. Well, with lack of questions in the chat, we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to move on to closing statements. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and shut down with some of the sponsors. One more time, a shout out to Gamer Grind. Gamer Grind Coffee. They got gamer specific coffee brews for you. Wonderful company, and they really get you going in the morning. Same with Rogue Energy. Amazing set of flavors. They're fantastic. Rogue Energy is one of my favorites now. I've only tried it for a couple weeks, but I absolutely love it to death. It's amazing. The next one, Pulse Lab Shares, bringing in comfort to gaming, making sure that we're all comfortable as we sit here for hours and hours and hours at a time. They're absolutely wonderful. And one more time, a shout out to Pix Backpacks. If you need a backpack customized for your needs, they're fantastic. Please, 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 if you're going to use or go to these sites, make sure to use our referral codes. Not only are you giving back to the community, but you're supporting a wonderful cause here at Team Serious, where we are creating a safer environment for not only ladies, but whoever you may be, creating that safe environment for everybody to be themselves. Get in the chat, get involved. I'm going to swing it around the horn one more time. We're going to start with Flap. Tell us where you're at. Tell us what you do. Tell us where we can find you. And make sure that you don't just sit there and say, the whole time. Okay?
My name is Flap and Smack. You can find me at
He actually wrote it down.
/smack and flap. Mixer.com/flap and smack.
Stop. I can't handle it.
And YouTube.
Oh, man.
YouTube /what? I
You
don't
did
know.
mention the other day that you were going to write that down.
Oh, no.
/flap and smack.
Oh, man.
Took me a while.
I'll be sure to find you.
Thanks, Flap. We'll be there. You weirdo.
Oh, and
Right.
Bebo. I forgot Bebo.
Oh, God.
Can I pet your hair? Anyway, go ahead. Brozine.
I'm Brozine. You can find me at Twitch TV/Brozine or Brozine on YouTube. I run The Bro Show, a podcast interviewing different streamers every other Saturday, finding out about their career, hobby, and how they feel about the streamverse. And I also have a new project where I lose weight while riding a bike and playing on stream different games. It's coming soon to a theater near you.
I am excited to watch that.
Yeah.
Same.
What's he browsing?
Time to get rid of the dad bod. Sick
Dad
of it.
bod.
I did my time.
It's father figure now. We have changed. It's not dad bod. It's father figure.
I like
very-
father figure
I am
way
very
better.
fatherly figured.
Same.
What's it called
Okay.
when you don't have a kid?
Oh man. Well, mine's super easy. They call me Felix on all platforms.
Except for
I-
Twitch. I mean, wait. What?
Oh yeah, they call me Felix. My goal in life is to get Twitch to respond to me, any way, shape, or form. It would be awesome, and to be on the Bro Show where we can sync our Peloton bikes and
Might be able to make that happen.
get rid of our father figure together. But I want to say thanks to Team Sirius for, letting me be on the podcast. I am the most inconsistent member of this panel because I have little ones that do all kinds of crazy things. So thank you guys for putting up with me on that. I really enjoy these conversations. Like it's amazing. They're kind of therapeutic to have these conversations with other people and get other perspectives. It's really cool. So thank you guys for having me on here.
Yeah, and you can find me in two places. I'm in Team Sirius Discord or I'm in Team UV's Discord. I'm in one of the two. I normally don't stream, don't really do anything else. But otherwise, you can join me here every Sunday morning on the podcast. I'm going to be a part of this panel as much as I can be. Really love and enjoy talking to you guys. All of the info for where you can find these wonderful people is going to be on the notes afterwards. I mean, I guess yeah, cool. Whatever, bud.
He's gone.
We weren't
back.
trying to finish this.
We're out of here.
Welcome back. But everything that these gentlemen have said is going to be in the notes on the podcast. You can find us on Spotify and iTunes. There's millions of places you can find us now. Team Sirius is growing large. One more time, please, I beg of you, be active in the Discord. Make sure that you guys are getting around. Check out our tournaments every other week. We're going to take a 2-week break here now for some family time. So after today,
Vacation time.
we got 2 weeks for family time. And then when we come back in mid-July, we will get right back into the tournaments. I know we've got Siege, we've got CSGO, we've got League right around the corner. We've got a lot of stuff going on. But we're going to come back after 2 weeks. So the ladies and the gents are going to take 2 weeks, guys. We got a 2-week break, and then we'll get right back to the grind. Next ladies podcast will be with Snacks. So please jump in, join Taz, Sage Rage, and Jimmy. Make sure that you follow them and get to see all the snacks and all the eating as they build their womanly figure as well. Also, we have FIFA and Rocket League Season 1 coming out. We got a lot of stuff going on. As you can tell, I'm just constantly talking about stuff that's going on. So get involved,
Just
be a part of it.
talking.
It's what I do, man. If you don't get involved, it's kind of on you at this point. We've given you every platform to be involved and to get active and to meet some awesome people. So at this point, it's on you to be active and get involved. So with that, guys, Flap and Smack, Brozine, Felix, thanks for joining us on this Team Sirius podcast, episode 6. We will see you in 2 weeks for episode 8. And as always, stay serious.
Happy 4th, everybody. And Flap, remember that one time when America beat you? Just kidding.
The closer you got
America.
to me, the faster I try to leave. Like a mirage, like a mirage. The skies that you like me, on my arms I
I didn't get to say my thing, you bastard. I was going to shit on Brosine because he has my number now. It's all up to him if he wants to join the WhatsApp group.
We're still on the air. So you can say it.
You done
I
now?
just did.
Oh,